big shinuim, the big chidushim that the Malbim brought were in the Ma'avarim, the changes from Perek Aleph to Perek Bet to Perek Gimel and Dalit. Then from Perek Hey, that was already like the end, the beginning of the end, and as the Malbim puts, Vav and Zayin are together. They're the same storyline, which is the song of death, right? This is the Malbim. Though we didn't put it so much out there, we learned the Malbim on it, but not that much. So today, Bezrat Hashem, we'll learn Rashi. We're more focused on Rashi lately, as Rashi is interesting in his reading of these last couple of chapters. And this chapter really is also begins very interestingly. And Bezrat Hashem, we'll do Perek Zayin today. And next Sunday, we will finish Shir HaShirim and do Perek Chet. Siyum, yeah! Maybe we'll do a Siyum, we'll do Shir HaShirim. Maybe we'll learn how to sing Shir HaShirim. I will point out that Shir HaShirim is read in the Ashkenazi community on Pesach. That's when you read Shir HaShirim. That's part of why we read Shir HaShirim, why we learned Shir HaShirim. It's read in the Ashkenazi. That makes a lot of sense because the Shir HaShirim it's a love song in its sense, and it's present in the spring. The spring is one of the things. What?
Wait, what do they say during Pesach?
They say it on Shabbat Chol HaMoed Pesach.
Oh, do they say it every day?
No, Shabbat Chol HaMoed. Shabbat Chol HaMoed. You also say it. People who stay awake with the Haggadah till the very end. Mm-hmm. At the very end of the Haggadah, it's also a minhag to say Shir HaShirim. Okay, yeah. For those people who are awake at 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, who made it till the end.
Before we get started, I have a question. Does Shir HaShirim have like a set tune like the Megillah does?
Yes.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Well, again, every kihila has its own tune, but yes. It goes, I'll read it to you. Ready? I'll do it in Mangina. Shuvi shuvi ashulamit, shuvi shuvi v'necheze bach, ma techezu bashulamit, im cholat ha'machanaim. No, I'm not doing it right. Ma yafuf ha'mayich, banalim batnadiv chamukei yerechaich. I'm not doing it right. I'm off it. It happens to me. I'm stuck in the regular reading. What? It's different than the Mechael. Yeah, it's different than the Mechael. 1 second. Shir HaShirim asher lishlomo, yishakini mineshikot piu, ki tovim dodecha miyayin. Okay, here we go. Shuvi shuvi ashulamit, shuvi shuvi v'necheze bach. I'm reading Perek Zayin, the Perek we're about to learn, so I'm going to read it, okay? Shuvi shuvi v'necheze bach, ma techezu bashulamit, ki im cholat ha'machanayim, ma yafuf ha'mayich banalim bat nadiv, חמוקי ירחייך כמו חלאים מעשה ידי עומן שררך אגן השר הליך שר המזג פתנך ערימת חיטים סוגה בשושנים שני שדייך כשני עופרים תאומי צביעה צווארך כמגדל השן עינייך בריחות בחשבון על שער בת רבים הפך כמגדל הלבנון, צופה פני דמשק, ראשך עלייך ככרמל, ודלת ראשך כארגמן, מלך עשו ברתים. מה יפית ומנעמת אהבה בתענוגים, זאת קומתך דמת לתמר, ושדייך לאשכולות, אמרתי אלה ותמר, אוחזה בסנסיניו, ויונה שדייך כאשכולות הגפן, וריח הפך כתפוחים, וחיכך כיין הטוב, הולך לדודי למישרים, דובב שפתי ישנים. אני לדודי ועלי תשוקתו, לך דודי נצא השדה, נלינה בכפרים, נשכים על הכרמים, נראה אם פרחה גפן ויתחס מדר, הנה ציור רימונים, שם אתן את דודי לך, הדודאים נתנו ריח, ועל פתחנו כל מגדים, חדשים גם ישנים, דודי צפנתי לך. It's beautiful, Shir HaShirim. When we were a young couple, my wife and I would do it every Erev Shabbos. We would sit, we would each do a chapter. You do a chapter, I would do a chapter, you do a chapter. And then we had children. And then we didn't do it anymore. Maybe we'll get back to it now a little later. So, Rabbi say, Shuvi Shuvi Ashulamit, Shuvi Shuvi v'nechazava. Return the Shulamit, which is an interesting word that's, if I'm not mistaken, it only appears here in Shir HaShirim. Return the Shulamit. We'll have to see what that means. Come back and we will see you. And then she answers, "Ma techazu b'shulamit k'mecholach ha'machamayim." What can you possibly see with the shulamit? So we already have this discussion. Someone's calling her to come back, and she's saying, "Whoa, what are you going to see?" And then again, "Ma yafufa ma'ich ban alim bat nadiv." How beautiful are your legs in shoes, the daughter of the generous one. Your thighs are like a special. How does it say chalaim? How does it translate chalaim?
It's jewels.
Jewels. No, give me a better one. Chalaim. Chamukei yerechayich. Your thighs are. Yeah, no. So, that's right. The art scroll goes right into the allegorical explanation.
No.
Right. Okay. So, right. So, chalaim. Pasuka bet. Your thighs. Something on your thighs. The smoothness of your thighs are like
Stones, precious stones.
That's what it says.
It says jewels, but I'm
Okay, yeah, go on.
Shod in pilgrim sandals.
Go next
Daughter
one.
of nobles. How lovely are your steps and sandals, O daughter of nobility. The next one, does it have?
Forget it. Doesn't. Okay.
At Earth's very center, your Sanhedrin site is a crescent basin. Your umbilicus is like a moon-shaped basin.
Right. That's the next one. Shararecha gan asar al yichsar habezek bitnech. Your stomach is arimat chitim, is a pile of wheat. Suga b'shoshanim, surrounded by roses. Shnei shadayich k'shnei ofarim teomei tzviya. Your breasts are like two the twins, deer twins in the field. Tzavarech k'migdal Hashem. Your neck is like a ivory tower. This is where it comes from. Migdal Hashem, ivory tower. Okay, this is where it comes from. As an ivory tower, your eyes are like the pools in the city of Cheshbon, al Shar bat Rabim, in the gate of the many, where many people go through. Apech k'migdal al-Vanon. Your nose is like the tower of Lebanon, Sofeh bnei Damascus, that sees, looks out towards Damascus. Roshech alayich ka Carmel, your head is like the Carmel, the mountain. V'dalat roshech ka Argaman, your hair really, the lat roshech, what's on your head, what's laid on your head is like crimson. Melech asur barhatim, a king who is entrapped by. How does it say ratim? How does it translate ratim?
And it's tresses.
It's tresses. Great word. Shalom. It's tresses. Its tresses are its hair, right? Ma yafit umana amt ahava betanugim. Oh, how beautiful and how pleasurable is playful love. Zot komatech. This is your height. You are like a tamar. You are like a palm. V'shadayich leshkonot. And your breasts are like the clusters of grapes. Amalti eleh tamar. I said I will go up and climb this tamar. Ochaza b'san Sinai. I will hold on to the clusters of grapes. Vayuna shalayich yeshkol agefen v'reach apech katapuchim. V'chikech, your mouth, ki yein atov, is like the good wine. Holech ledodi lemeisharim, that goes in good places or straight directions. Dovev siftei shenim. V'chule. It's getting harder and harder as we go on to explain what exactly he's talking about here. Let's see it as we do through Rashi. Here you are, sir. Everyone has a source sheet?
Rashi,
You have Rashi, yeah, but we're going to see it, I hope, a little better. Okay. Rabbi say, I want to remind you that last chapter we had a break, right? Not the student, Perek Hey, we had a break. We had a Am Yisrael and Galut already, not thinking back to where they were, but where they are now. Okay, and there they were already talking about, it was a little more intense, the feelings that Am Yisrael has, is what Shir HaShirim is portraying, Am Yisrael in Galut. Here too, pretty much the first 7 psukim here are going to be dealing with, or 8 psukim, are going to be dealing with a give and take between Am Yisrael and the Goyim. Okay, Am Yisrael are in the Galut, and the Goyim are going to be trying to seduce us, to be part of them. Okay? This is Perek Zayin, the first part of Perek Zayin. According to Rashi, this is the whole, you have to read the whole thing. There's an attempt to seduce us, and Am Yisrael remain steadfast in refusal to be seduced by the Goyim. Okay? Now again, before we even jump in here, this is like an aleph bet of galut, of exile, of Am Yisrael and exile. There are two relationships we have with our exiles. One is when we are Mitsuyan, when we're marked as Jews and usually suffer because of that, as the enemy, the other, Haman's, Yeshno Am Echad, Mefuzar, Mufurad, V'shoneh, right? They're different from all the other nations. They're different, they're fifth column, and they're weird, and they're out of it. And then we get destroyed. That's one way. It is the more tried and true way of dealing with the Jews. The other way, which is a more modern way, even though Bavel also, in a sense, did this, and so did the Yevanim, so did the Greeks, and that's, come on, look what we have to offer you. Join us. Look what beautiful things I can offer you. Look at culture. Look at art. Look at music. Look at opera. Look at our sports. Look at our movie industry, your entertainment, beautiful architecture. Come on, join us. It's beautiful. We're offering you something. We're not attacking you. We're even recognizing your abilities and how much you have to offer the rest of the world. Come, join us. That's what they're going to be talking about here in the beginning, at least, okay, of Shir HaShirim. In other words, this is Shuvi HaShulamit, Shuvi V'nechazebach, says Rashi, says the Goyim. Come on to us. Listen to what Rashi says. Shuvi HaShulamit. Omrim Elai, Shuvi me'achar ha'makom. Who's the makom? Hashem. Hashem is called HaMakom. Okay, that's one of the names for Hashem. It's HaMakom. That's what we say when we do a Nichum Avelim, right? When we come to comfort the mourners, you say HaMakom Yenachem Etchem. HaMakom Yenachem Etchem. That's what the Ashkenazim say. The Ashvardim say Yishamayim Tinuchamu.
But Shuvi is a very interesting choice of words.
Return, yeah. Come on back. Shuvi Elenu, come back. But he says Shuvi Ma'achorei HaMakom. Leave that old, archaic God of yours. Come back. Join the brotherhood of man. Join the rest of the nations. Stop being so separate, so unique, so different. Hashulamit. Hashlema be'emunatech imo. Shuvi elenu. So here he's playing a great game. So there he says, what is Hashulamit? Comes from the word shlema. Perfect, whole. You who have stayed so steadfast in your belief. So, come on. You've been amazing. You're amazing. Beautiful. You've been beautiful. I mean, so nice. But, Kadima, let's go. Let's move ahead. There is progress in the world. Come, join us. So it's funny. It's like it's playing off with things. Shulamit is like a beautiful thing, but it's not bothering them for what they're saying. They're saying, Shuvi Hashulamit, you've been so good. Come, now it's time. Natziv mimech netzivim. Nechezeh. He plays, we're going to make you netzivim and shiltonim. We're going to make you leaders and rulers and governors and professors and producers and what? Sultans, shiltonim, right? Netzivim. Well, we're going to bring you into important positions. דבר אחר, ונחזה בך, נתבונן עלייך מה גדולה ניתן לך. And we'll look at you and see what ניתן לך. Sorry, we'll look at you, נחזה, right? שובי השולמית, שובי ונחזה בך. We'll find you jobs. We'll have jobs for you. We'll have places to put you. They're calling us. עם ישראל, come on. והיא אומרת, מי זה היא? עם ישראל answers and says, מה תחזו בשולמית? מה גדולה אתם יכולים לפסוק לי, שיהיה תהיה שווה לגדולתי, אפילו לגדולת דגלי מחולות מחנות המדבר. It says, what we answer, what can you give me? What really can you offer me that will be so great? As staying faithful to Hashem. Say, what can you offer me? What are you going to give me? What can you possibly give me that will be greater than what I have already, than my ne'emanut to Hashem? This clash. It's like a little Rashi here. This is the Jewish nation for many, many times in our life. This is a question, essential question in Galut. Essential question. Remember we said this according to Rashi, the whole Shir HaShirim is for Galut. It's for the people there, struggling, holding on to their sanity in the Galut. And here they're presenting this challenge that the Goyim have, but this is a different kind. This is the honey trap challenge, right? Come, be part of me. And they say, what can you possibly give me now? And they answer, Ma yafu pa'amayich bananim hem omrim la, hem is the hem, and the nations omrim la, the Am Yisrael, right? Chafetzim anu shetidbeku banu bishvil noi v'chashivut sherainu bach beodech beyofiech. They say, no, you were beautiful. We remember you as being beautiful. You remember you being as very talented. We remember seeing you in your glory times. We want that. And here there may be a deeper statement here. I'm going to use Rashi to jump a little further into a discussion of what evil wants from Am Yisrael. Okay, if you use the Goyim here as evil in that sense, or I'll say the Klipot in a sense. Okay, what are the external parts of the world? What do they want from the internal parts of the world? They want the life force. That is seen often in Kabbalistic texts of when you do an Aveira, you're giving power to the Klipot. Anyone ever hear this statement? You're giving power to the Klipot. You're giving power to the impure forces of the world. And in a sense, sometimes, as opposed, between us and the nations, there's a lot of discussions what our connection with the nations are. So it's an interesting place. What exactly are the relationships? Many, many, very, very, very complex. But I would say in one of the ideal modes is we're teaching the nations, we're inspiring the nations, we're bringing the nations closer to Hashem. That's sort of what I would say baseline Yeshayahu outlook of Am Yisrael and their connection to the Goyim. It's supposed to be a beautiful connection. When it switches, when it turns up the other way around, that's not what's supposed to happen. Okay? When we give our power to the Goyim, when we come and serve them, that's when the world turns the opposite way. Okay? That's mamash not what's supposed to happen. And here they recognize us for our talents, for our vitality, for our closeness to Hashem. They say, we want that. Come to us, please. Okay? So let's go on here. So there's some drashot here about how beautiful we are in Beit HaMikdash, Dafka, when we have the closeness to Hashem. Okay? And then it starts here in Pasuk Bet, this definition. Now look how it goes. Pasuk Bet starts with Pa'amayich. Pa'amayich are feet. Okay? Pa'amayich banalim bat nadiv. Then it goes to Chamukei Yerechayich, your thighs. Then it goes to Sharerech Agan Asahar, which we said is the belly button area. Okay? And then it goes up to the stomach. And then in Pasuk Dalet, it's up to the breasts. And then it's up to the neck in Pasuk Hey. And then it's up to your eyes in Pasuk, also continues Pasuk Hey, your eyes. And then it's your nose, which I guess, I don't know. Which one's higher, eyes or nose?
Depends where you start the nose from.
I guess, yeah, right. The nose starts interesting. So whatever. Anyway, and then Roshech, and then your head, and then Dalat Roshech, the hair on top of your head. So this picture, Rashi observes correctly, is starting from the feet and goes up. Okay? That's the first thing you have to understand, that's going up. And it plays very well off a previous pasuk, or psukim that we saw.
Where it went down, right?
Where it went down, exactly. It went from the hair down, right? It went in pasuk, again, in Perek Daled. We said in Perek Daled, when he's talk about the beauty of the, right? Inach yafa, enaich yonim, sarech, shinaich, siftotaich, rakatech, your neck, your breasts. It's going down from there, okay? So there's a different motion. And here we're going from the bottom up, so Rashi's going to play off this idea, okay? Says Rashi, we just see how he goes, okay? Maaseh Deoman. You guys see here, this one, this Rashi? Maaseh Deoman, right here. In Bet, it's in Bet. Okay, the last one on Bet. Yedei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay? Masechet Sukkah, aman kmo omen, kilusot shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yisrael mekalsim oto milemala lemata. We, when we talk about Hashem, we talk from the top down, okay? מתחילים מראשו ויורדים ובאים עד שוקיו. עמוד 6. לפי שהם באים לרצותו להוריד שכינתו מן העליונים לתחתונים. והוא, Hashem, when he talks about us, מונה קילוסם מלמטה למעלה. מה יפו פעמייך עם הרגליים, מונה והולך עד ראשך. Okay? Because he is pulling us. כי הוא בא למושך אליו. In other words, when we talk to Hashem, we're saying, Hashem, come down to us. And when Hashem talks to us, he says, come up to me. He starts from the bottom and pulls it up. So there's a motion here that's happening that each side is pulling each other here. Again, right now it sounds like this has nothing to do with the Goyim. You know, Rashi left for a second the discussion with the Goyim. Now it's an inner discussion within Am Yisrael, okay, of our beauty with Hashem. Okay, it stays here. But it seems to be that still this whole thing is what the Goyim saw in us. In other words, all this is what impressed them and why they want us to be close to them. They're explaining why we want you to be close to us. And this whole part is what you, Am Yisrael, do. You do this amazing thing, and we, the Goyim, want to be part of that. What do you do, Am Yisrael be'emet? What you do is you have this relationship with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu that brings the divine presence into this world. That's something that is a life force that everyone really wants. And I'll say something that I think is I'm going to say it, I feel sometimes I have trouble when we're learning Shir HaShirim and the power of the words and the things he's saying. I'm like explaining it, and I'm not there. Okay, I'm not. It's hard for me. Don't think that these are things that I live by. These are things I would aspire to. Okay, in my good moments, but this idea of having Hashem present in the world, in a dual motion of us trying to elevate ourselves and Him coming down per se. Again, it's figurative, but coming down and meeting. What we said, Beit HaMikdash is that meeting point. Right, that's why they start here on the regalim, that Aliyah la regel and Beit HaMikdash is the focus here. That is what we really are attempting to do here in this world. That is our job. It's to bring Hashem's presence here. When Hashem's presence is here, there is a bracha. There's a bracha, a blessing in everything. You're fully and totally alive. I don't know how to define it. You are 100% like completely there in all its positivity. The opposite of that is the enjoyment of sin. In the enjoyment of sin, you can have this extreme excitement. Zeh k'neged zeh. There's an extreme excitement that can happen in different levels of sin. But in Kedusha, it's an extreme incitement of Kedusha. Okay? And they're not comparable, obviously, but they are. Because Hashem always makes it zeh k'neged zeh. It's always zeh l'umat zeh. Hashem makes things, evil and good, they're in the same place. So, what happens when you sin, and you really sin, yeah? Not just not doing what you should be doing, like really sin, in a sense, you're doing the negative of what's supposed to happen. That's why it's so powerful. It's so powerful because you're really doing what should be done exactly afuch, and you're pulling in the energy from that. It's why it's so dangerous and so bad in that sense. In the same thing, but the other side explains why it's so full of life in a sense, because you're drawing in what life is supposed to be. So someone who really sins, they can really understand, in a sense, what Kedusha is. Someone, and that's why there's, Chazal say, a place that Baalei Tshuva Umdim and Tzadikim Yecholim La'amod. There's a place that where Baalei Tshuva are, Tzadikim can never understand that. Why not? There's something about the fact that the Baalei Tshuva have delved into sin, have experienced life in its full grandeur, power, that they could really understand what it is to be the Kedusha.
To understand
When they do.
the beauty of light, you must first understand darkness.
So it's hard for me to say you must, but there's something about it that it's like that. Chazal said it, not me, Ken. There's something that Baalei Tshuva have that tzaddikim can't understand. They don't grasp it. They can't be there. It's a different level. Who's greater, the Baal Tshuva or the tzaddik? It's not really the question. It's something, there's a makom she'em omdim, and tzaddikim yocholim la'amod. They just can't understand. They don't understand that world. Whether I offer someone to be a Baal Tshuva, no. So that's not like he's saying, oh yeah, good, so now go be a Baal Tshuva. But there is something, Chazal say, that a Baal Tshuva has that a tzaddik does not have. He could really understand the place. I remember often when I was in Miluim, and I was doing with the people, and sometimes you have like these people who are crass and again, you guys know the world. What am I going to talk about? I don't know why to talk to you. I read it every so often. But they're crass, but they're so vital. It's like and I'm like, gosh, this guy has to be Choser B'Tshuva. And I said, when he becomes Choser B'Tshuva, he's going to shoot by all of us. Because he has these kochot that if he flips them the right way, they'll go up to Hashem. This movement, I think, it's an inner explanation of what Am Yisrael is saying to Hashem, and Hashem is saying to them, but the Goyim understand this. In other words, when they're sinking deeper into to sexuality and whatever they're sinking into, they're really searching for this, but they don't know how to find it. And this gives you your answer. It gives you your fix, right? It's your fix of energy. It gives you your fix. But really, it's a desperate search for Hashem in the whole world. It's a search for Hashem, and really, they hate us for not giving them the right fix. We have a job to give them the right fix. There's a basis of this want of pulling us to them that says you can give us the right fix. That's why they're drawing us to them. Now we can't be drawn to them because if we're not fixed, if we're not mitukan, if we're not in the right place, then you go swallowed right up. The person who can bring this is someone who's really there. You can't just talk about it. It's not here I'm talking about it. It's something. It's a reality to be in. It's not theoretical. It's mamash people who are this. That's what we're supposed to be bringing. I think this is part of the statement of what the Goyim see in us. Why they want us to join them. They want us to join them because there's something they see us that's the right. That we have an ability to bring the excitement in the right way. So, let's go on. Gimel. Sharech Agan Asar, Tiburech Agan Shel Mayim Tzulim Shochatzim Behem V'Asui Me'avnei Shai Shebeshon Arvi Karu Isar. This is the explanation of a beautiful basin, marble basin. And what does this mean? This isn't just about a woman. Rashi says in the second line in Gimel. V'Akilus Hazeh Eino Minyan No Isha Ki Kilus Ha'Elyon. V'Ha'Elyon Doda Mekalsa. Says this is the friends are saying that how beautiful you are. The friends being the Goyim. Said that this is not Hashem talking. Al Shem Maseh Lomar Haguna Atit Chaber Imanu. You could join us. You could be part of us. Al Dugma Al Shem Lishkat Gazita Yoshevet Betabur Haaretz. This again, it says, so what's the Dugma? What's the explanation? Rashi says, first of all, it's not Hashem saying this. This is like the Goyim saying this. They're saying how beautiful you are, which is very interesting. It's not what we've seen until now. Until now, it's been a discussion between Hashem and Am Yisrael pretty much when they talk about how beautiful each one is. Here, the Goyim are saying how beautiful we are. And Rashi says, what in this specific case, they're talking about Lishkat HaGazit. We talked about this morning. What's Lishkat HaGazit? Who sits in Lishkat HaGazit? The Sanhedrin sits in Lishkat HaGazit. Hayoshevet Betabur Haaretz, that sits in the center of the world, right? As Yerushalayim being the center of the whole world. So it's sitting in the belly button of the world, the Tabur Haaretz, the middle of the world, is Yerushalayim. You ever talk about the belly button of the world? There are probably better words to say than that. The navel, the center of the world. But that's the word. That's the belly button being the center of the whole body. The center is being right in the middle. So that's what the Tabur Haaretz, right? Pinnacle. That's high. Anyway,
I don't
whatever.
mind it.
What?
I don't mind the metaphor.
You're okay?
Well,
Belly
like,
buttons?
well, like the, I don't know. It can be, well, the way it's like umbilicus, like an umbilical cord,
Oh.
is like connecting the baby to the mother.
מעולה,
Right? So
נכון,
it's
נכון,
important.
יפה. It's a better explanation, a better take there, right? The umbilical cord being the connection of. Thank you. יפה. השם is tabur haaretz. Now I think also this is another statement. There's another element that we love, that the goyim see in us, and that is mishpat. Mishpat, the ability to do justice in the world, that they also look to us. Now, we have a lot of jobs here. They see it and they were like, this is wonderful and beautiful. We would love to have this in us also. So this will to incorporate us into them, it's all very positive. It'll bring the positive things of us. Let's go on. Okay, Suga b'Shoshanim. Ready? You guys, this is the last thing here in it. So it says we're surrounded by roses. Okay, suga, fenced by roses. And here Rashi brings one of the most famous things, a very famous midrash, and he goes like this: Suga b'Shoshanim, gdura u'mesuyeget begader shoshanim. It is fenced and walled with a fence of roses. Daila begader kal. Ve'en echad mehem poretz vo. Okay. In other words, there are different kinds of walls you could put about something to fence it off. You could fence it off with barbed wire. You could fence it off with a wall. You could fence it off with a hedge of roses. It's pretty good, but one could go through a hedge of roses. May hurt a little bit, but you can go through. Okay, it's not a wall and it's not a fence. It's not nice. What is this? Rashi says a fence of roses is davar kal. It's a not a massive thing. It's something pashut that can be gone through, okay? But no one goes through it. Ready for the mashal? Here we go. Harei chatan. Poretz bo likanes, Ken. Sorry. Harei chatan. Nichnas lachupo. Look how Rashi's waxing eloquent here. Chatan goes in to the chuppah. Libo megagat lachuppah ulechibat chatunav. He is longing for his beloved. Bali zakekla. He wants to have relations with her. Amralo, tipat dam kechaldar raiti. She says, I saw a tiny bit of blood. Miyad, hare hofech panav letzad acher. He turns his face to the other side and they don't have relations. Velo neshach nachash. Okay, Rashi says, a snake didn't bite him. Lo akrav ukto. A scorpion didn't sting him. Harei shu over baderech ra'a bechorot berashei te'enim pashat yado lito. I'll stop here. That's the first one. That in the halachic world, we have things that are asur. I remember it was one of a fascinating moment in my life. I much remember where I was on the bus. I don't know how old I was, maybe 18, 19, 20. I was on the bus driving. And I don't know why I thought of this suddenly. And suddenly I thought, oh my gosh, there are people who don't have the word asul in their life. I'm sorry if this very banal statement, but for me, it suddenly was like, oh my gosh, there are people who everything is mutar, everything. There's nothing asur. There maybe you shouldn't do, but there's nothing asur you can't do.
And illegal, right?
What?
Illegal is like for secular people asur.
What is?
Illegal.
Illegal. There is something like that, but illegal is something it shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be done, right? It's not asur. It's not inherently asur. It's something you shouldn't do because you're not supposed to do it. You understand what I'm saying? When Hashem says, I can't do something, I can't do. There's no way I can do. There's no way I can do it. It's a sur mamash. It's illegal, right? There are things that you could do if you're not caught. No one sees you. I mean, in a sense, like what will happen if no one sees me when I do the thing that's illegal? Is there something inherently wrong with it? It's bad to be caught. obviously law is based on morality. I'm not. I understand that it's not legamri like I'm saying. But really, even law, it's something that we agreed on. And if we agree otherwise, we can change the law. In religion, when it's asur, it is asur. There's no way out of it. It's asur. What?
No wiggle room.
I mean, again, there's pikuach nefesh, and there are all the different statements where we have these things, but that doesn't make it easy. It's not like, if there's pikuach nefesh, it doesn't make it mutar. It means there's pikuach nefesh which overrides it. At no point does it make it asur. I was just thinking, like this thing, like on Shabbat, I can't do a lot of things. I just can't do them. Someone who doesn't have the musag asur, life is different. Here, this idea of a fence of roses, Rashi brings this midrash here, is this concept that Jews have an internal gate thing. And what stops them from doing it? Hashem said you can't do it. That's what stops you. So he said there's no nachash, there's no akrav, nothing. The Rabbi Soloveitchik talks about this even more powerfully. And there's no one there. No one will know. It's just you and your kala. You love her so much. But, no, she sees blood. That's it. Your guys are going to be asur now for 2 weeks. You're not going to have relations. Nothing stopped you. Nothing. No one knows. No one's going to see you. No one's going to... It's just you. It's just you. That ability to put a boundary it's essential in our build of ourselves and our connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But again, the Goyim are looking. Remember, this is all being looked at from the outside. Viewed as, that is so amazing. It's viewed, all these are positives of Am Yisrael that the Amim are looking and seeing. And they say this is an amazing ability to have boundaries. It's gvura. Right, in the Kabbalistic terms. It's the ability to say, ad kan, until here, no more. That is very difficult. In a world that's full of love, and chesed, and bounty and no boundaries. Everything is okay. You could do whatever you feel like, say whatever you want to say, do whatever you want to do. This world is presenting self-actualization. And there's no limit to that, because yourself, how could anyone limit that? The only limit is, don't hurt someone else. That's like the limit that's accepted now. Kilu, that's possible. Kilu, people live in a complete capsule and there's no connection to anyone else. This is one of our huge ma'alot, our virtues, one of our virtues, one of Am Yisrael's virtues. And this is the example they use here. Sugaba Shoshanim. They use the idea of the rose, the bare red bit. Little bit of blood, that's it. It's a little bit of blood. Or we could say it otherwise, right? I'm making food, and a little bit of cheese falls into the thing, that's it. We're done. Again, not patel b'shishim, not whatever. I'm not going into the specifics of halacha here. But whatever, it could happen that it could be posel your food, okay? It does happen. That's it. It's done. Oh, but you just spent an hour preparing your food and putting it all together. What? There you go. Again. So this isur, this thing again. Let's go on, okay? He sees these wonderful figs, and he sticks his hand out to take a fig. Pashat yado litol. Omrim lo sheYisraelu. Shel Yisrael hem. Umoshech yado mipnei hagezel. He says, you can't take that. You can't take that. That's gezel. Oh, sorry. Right, I can't take it. It's gezel. This is, I find, one of the most beautiful, for people who are really religious, they have a whole self, I won't call it a game, a whole self process happening all the time. all the time. Should I see this? Should I not see this? Should I watch this? Should I not? Should I eat this? Should I not eat this? If you like went into the mind of a religious person, his whole life is like yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Allah, tis wrong. Flow. Stop all this thinking. Stop all this boundaries. Just go. It's no. So we don't have that. We believe that the world is a structure, and part of the structure is our strength. It can be frustrating at times, especially when our passions take hold of us. But it gives inner structure to life itself. It gives values, gives meaning to things. And this, the Goyim see, and this is what they're enamored of. Like, oh, this guy lying there with his wife, this close, stops, holds himself back. How could you possibly been in this situation? How could you be there? It's the power of gvulot. Okay? So the next thing, right? These, the tablets, which are set in stone and that are not negotiable. Okay? These are the things he sees. Said there? These are all defending. These are protective things like Migdal Hashem, like an ivory tower. These are things that protect us. This motion is something that is respected in the world. It is seen as a power, not as a thing, even as much as we get derided for these things and say, come on, loosen up, let go, be there. These are things that we have our limits. The limit at the end of the day, the disciplined person is one who gets far. Undisciplined may give you a thrill for X amount of time, but at some point you find your life in complete disarray and a feeling of helplessness in the world. With the discipline that we have in the mitzvot, and those I always say the question of meaning, of finding meaning in the world. Every second has meaning in the world for us. Every second has meaning in the world. What are you doing right now? Learning Torah. Boom! You just connected to the source of all energy in the world. What are you doing right now? I'm doing a mitzvah. Boom! You corrected in the mitzvah. Wow, amazing! Hashem wanted to give merit. He gave them a lot of Torah mitzvot. Everything you do can have meaning immediately. Meaning's everywhere. Never a dull moment. You could choose not to, but you can choose to do it everywhere you are. This is the world looking at this thing. Give us this. Bring this to us. So here again, it's so powerful. Rashi goes on. Enaich, the next time on the next page. Enaich brechot asher b'cheshbon, mushchot mayim. Brechot b'cheshbon. These are pools of cheshbon, but he plays on the word cheshbon. Cheshbon means math. Okay, it means math. And they ask any kid what cheshbon is, he'll tell you, "Oh, I hate that lesson." Math. So there. Kach einav al shar bat rabim. Chachamaich. Chachamecha, your wise men, Shem Yoshvim b'Sharei Yerushalayim, Ha'ir Bat Rabat Am, so he says it's Yerushalayim, Ve'oskim b'Cheshbon v'Tkufot u'Mazalot, they deal with what Chazal saw as one of the most intricate of the wisdoms, and that is the wisdom of the calendar and the stars and the sun and the moon, and how to make all the Cheshbonot is always seen as one of the higher levels. Anyone who's ever learned Hilchot Kiddush HaChodesh LaRambam, you could probably understand these things in the physics. People who have like a good physical head. I mean, I've learned the Rambam more than once. You just hold on and you read it like the Zohar. It's like 7 chapters in the Rambam. You just go right through. Okay, I'm done. That's what you do. I just can't understand what he writes. So the Rambam, Baruch Hashem, understood what he was writing. And the people who deal with it understood, but it's very complex, and I'm not. Oh, you're also a mathematical mind. You guys could probably figure this out and understand it. It's beyond my. You could understand it too. You're good at this stuff.
It was interesting.
Wonderful. Yeah. You guys are better than me. I gave up. I tried the first time. Forget it. Anyway, they pull. Moshchot. They're attractive, like a pool of water. So again, everything we have are things that they bring them forwards and they're beautiful. Okay? This is a great one. I like this one. Apech kemigdal Lebanon. Okay, Rashi goes on to the next one. Apech, your nose is like a tower of Lebanon. It says Rashi, Eino yachol I like this Rashi. Eini yachol lefarshol lashon chotem. I can't explain this that apech is your nose. Why? Lo le'inyan pshat v'lo le'inyan dugma. Not in the pshat of the story and not in the mashal, not what it's supposed to mean. Because he says, Hima kilus no yesh bechotem gadol zakuf kemigdal. What wonderful thing is to say about a big nose that sticks out like a tower. That's not pretty. What is that? So Rashi's very candid here, right? He says, I have no idea how to explain this as a nose. This doesn't make sense. So what he's going to explain it, he's going to explain his face. Apech. Like apayim. When you say apayim, right? Erech apayim. Hashem is long-faced in that sense, that he has a long, even though sometimes we say erech apayim is a nose, be'emet. But, and it's the two, right, the nostrils, apayim, doubled nose. But here he says, Omer ani apech lashon panim. Face. V'zeu omer lashon yachid. So usually, panim, it's plural. So he says in singular, it's apech. Oh, whatever. Let's leave it as Rashi does. Ve'eno omer apech she'al ha'metzach, שהוא מדבר שהוא עיקר הכרת פנים. Okay? And then he says, ותדע שהרי מקלסה והולך מלמטה למעלה, עינייך ברכות בחשבון, he goes on מצח, וכל האומות מקלסות, in the last line, וכל האומות מקלסות, מצחך חזק לעומת מצח כל הבאים להראותך ולפתותך. You are adamant. Your מצח is חזק. A מצח חזק means you're stubborn. Stubborn. You stand remarkably steadfast. Mul all the temptations that are being put your way. That's also seen as a positive. Okay, even that's seen as a positive. The nations are amazed by this. Okay? Says the next one. Okay, so your nose is like a migdal levanon, sofe pnei Damasek. It's looking towards Damascus. So what's this? So first of all, Rashi gives two explanations. The first is the Midrash, Ze Beit Yar HaLevanon. That's the easy one. That's Beit HaMikdash. Okay, Beit HaMikdash was called Beit Yar HaLevanon. There were a lot of trees there and a lot of columns that sort of looked like a forest, like a Ya'ar, a forest, okay? Like Lebanon, there were a lot of cedar woods from Lebanon. So they call Beit HaMikdash Beit Yar HaLevanon. That's one of the names they call Beit HaMikdash. So that fits here. You're Bnei Lebanon, okay? And you could stand up high and you could see all the way to Damascus because it was very high. Okay, that's one explanation. The other explanation, panecha tzofot pnei Damascus. Your face are looking expectantly towards Damascus. Mitzapot levo sha'arei Yushalayim ad Damasek. Shatida litrachev ad Damasek. Did anyone ever hear this one? Yerushalayim in the future will go all the way to Damascus. Okay? Yerushalayim, right from here, Yerushalayim's gonna go all the way to Damascus. I mean, what does that mean? Yerushalayim's gonna go all the way to, what in the world does that mean? And I think this is the picture that we're talking about, that the whole chapter is really talking about, is this interplay between Am Yisrael and the Goyim. What is the relationship going on here between the two? The nations appreciate and see all the things that were happening, but in a sense they also understand that Yerushalayim in the future is supposed to come out. It's supposed to be there. They're touching on the right nerve, the right frequency. You know, this whole thing that the Goyim are saying here that at first sounded very low, that they're trying to pull us and lure us in. As we go from pasuk to pasuk, we're understanding that the lure may be a low sense, but their understanding and their insight into what they're trying to lure is really meduyak. It's very, very sharp in what they see in Am Yisrael. They're not stupid in that sense. They're not misguided. They understand what there is. Whether they should swallow us or we should be coming out, that's already another discussion. But there's this understanding that really we are supposed to affect them. This idea of Yerushalayim is going to expand till Damascus. What in the world does that mean? It means that there is an idea of pushing the Kedusha out into the world. Okay? And sort of like swallowing up the world as we go, bringing it bracha, bringing it shifa, bringing it kirvat Hashem, bringing us closer to Hashem, as we go. It's not, Am Yisrael's job was not to remain here and go like this. We're here and we're one to bless the whole world. That is Avram's basic tenet throughout the story of Avram Avinu, is v'nivrechu b'cha kol ha'amim. You will bless all the nations. Basic Aleph Bet. Okay, of Am Yisrael. That's where we started. So they understand that, and this is what they want. Okay, Roshech Alayich Kakarmel, Elu Tfilin Shebarosh. Okay, Roshech Alayich Kakarmel. There's something on your head like a mountain. What is this? This is Tfilin Shebarosh. What's so special about Tfilin Shebarosh? There's a pasuk that says, "V'ra'u kol ha'mei ha'aretz ki shem Hashem nikra alecha v'yar'u mimeka." All the nations will see the name of God is called upon you, and they'll be scared of you. Say Chazal right there, Elu Tfilin Shebarosh. The Tfilin Shebarosh are our statement where all the nations see this, and they will see the name of God is upon us, and they will fear us, or more, they will be in awe of us. They will be in awe of how human beings can be this close to Hashem, can be this present in Hashem. They will see the name of God is on them. In other words, you are, in a sense, carrying Hashem. You are a presenter of Hashem to the world, and they are in awe of that, not in a bad way, in a real way. You're in a deeper form. Is that there? So let's go on. Rehatim, I'm going down like this is the bottom of, that was the beginning of Vav. That was the first one, the last one on Vav. Rehatim, right? We said that was the tresses. What was the word? Tresses. That means like the locks of hair, right?
Yeah.
So what is it? What is this? He says, Davar acher in the bolded there. Melech asur baratim. Hakadosh Baruch Hu nikshar be'ahava b'mitzvot u'beritzot she'atem ratzim lefanav. Rehatim in Aramaic, rahat is to run. So Hashem is tied to us in our love for the mitzvot and the fact that we run to Him. This excitement in Avodat Hashem has often frustrated foreign nations who see a fervor in even the most pashut Jew that drives them out of their minds. In other words, why are you so adamant in your connection to Hashem? It drove the nations crazy. How can you be so steadfast? And this idea, Hashem says, this is what Hashem loves in us. All right? So let's go to the very end, Pasuk Chet. Okay, I jumped over Pasuk Zayin. There Rashi says, until now it was like the individual parts of us. Now he says, your whole you, he loves you. Okay, that's Pasuk Zayin, Pasuk Chet. Zot komatech damta tamar. You are like a palm tree. Okay, and here he brings two cases. Okay, of Am Yisrael standing straight. It fits into Mordechai's story also, okay? But here he's using other people. The examples he's going to use are Daniel, Hananan, Mishael, and Azariah. Okay? Also in Beit Sheni. And in between Beit Rishon and Beit Sheni. The people who withstood the pressures of the foreign governments. Pasuk Chet. Zot komatech damta tamar. Ra'inu noi komatech. We saw the beauty of your stance. B'imei Nebuchadnezzar. Shekol ha'umot hayu korot v'naflot lifnei hatzelem. Ve'ata omedet b'koma zkufa katamar hazeh. Like a palm tree that's straight and stands straight and strong. You guys stood and didn't succumb to the pressures. All the nations to come to the pressure, to bow to the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, and you guys didn't. And we see that as a positive. We see that ability to withhold the pressures of conformity and bowing to totalitarianism. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I was close. It's another R. They said that it's amazing. It's amazing that you are. And he goes on. Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah. Shehu lecha kasdim linak mehem. Dam uleshkolot shemashpiot. כך הם השפיעו להעניק וללמוד את הכל שאין יראה כיראתכם. They affected and influenced everyone to learn that there is no God like our God. Ad kan. It says Rashi. Ad kan. You see the bold the line. Ad kan kilsu haumot. Mikan va'elech divrei shchina legalut Yisrael sheben haumot. Up until now, all these 8 psukim were a kilus, a praise from the nations to Am Yisrael. Now Hashem talks to us, well, as we're in Galut, the rest of the chapter. So Rashi divides up this chapter. This first beginning is be'emet I think it's an astounding statement of what the Goyim really think about Am Yisrael. It's amazing, because we hear lots of not good things that they say about Am Yisrael, right? But here Shir HaShirim is presenting that deep inside them, they recognize Am Yisrael's amazing traits, and as I'm saying, and they want them for themselves. It is really a request. It's right when you say when a kid acts up, right? A little kid, so throws a temper tantrum. What does he want?
Attention.
To be a Jew. That's what he wants. Attention. He wants attention, right? He wants attention. He wants to be drawn. The fact that the Goyim are always at our throats. What are we? We're this tiny little nation. For goodness sakes, leave us alone. What are you focused on us for so much? Right now, what are you focused on us for? There are wars going all over the place. There's Ukraine. That's like millions of people. What do you want? No, but it's hold us to a higher standard in a good way. In a good way. It's because you have a higher standard. You have things to give us. We aren't going to let you be like everyone else, Be'etzem. We don't allow you to be that. We need you. Look at all these things you have. We need this. We can't do it by ourselves. This is you. Please. This is why we want you to join us. That's what they said in the beginning. Remember they said, we want you to join us. When they said, ditch your God and join us, they want this power. They don't understand how to get it. But this is what they want. This is an inner one. This is the child acting up. What do they want? They want attention. We should give them attention.
It's very interesting. It's such a beautiful metaphor, the rose bush and everything. Like I didn't really understand before, but it's like, why would a person say like a person is very poor, or like a peasant, and then they see like another peasant? They're not going to have envy. They're not going to have why would the nations care? Like, why would the nations care if they saw the Jewish people as, oh, they're just like everybody else? It's because there's no reason to be envious or focused on somebody unless if you perceive the wealth that they have. So they can perceive on an underlying level the spiritual wealth of Am Yisrael, and they're drawn to that. Otherwise, why else would they care? The thing is, we're in the king's castle, and we have our king. And if we go out the gates, if we go through the thorn bush, it's done for us. And they're drawing us out. They're saying, like, if we can't get in the castle, because it's a hypocrisy. It's like, oh, we don't want to serve the king, but we want all the benefits of living in this nice castle.
So I agree, but I'm gonna be more positive and say they want the king too.
They do want the king.
I think they do want the king. I think they want the So I think they really do want the king. I agree with you that very often we just want the benefits, but in the deeper level they want the king. They want the whole thing. They want the whole story. They understand that there's something here that they just don't have. And I think now this isn't to belittle the nations at all in this sense. What in my mind, it's there sometimes the mirror for us to remember what we're supposed to be doing here. We're supposed to be doing something great. We're supposed to be doing something unique.
Light of nations.
Yeah, but as we saw here, it's so much more than just the light of the nation. To be a light of the nation has many different levels. We talked about the justice system and the Sanhedrin. We talked about our mitzvot, Torah mitzvot, understanding basic concept of the world, of what you can do and what you can't do, how the limits and the boundaries that give form and meaning to the world. These are all things that, be'emet, we brought to the world and are bring to the world, but we have to continue it. And we have to be this. The mistake Am Yisrael has made very often is to say we will become like the nations and then we could affect them. That is one of the major mistakes that Am Yisrael has made throughout history. We'll be like them and then we can act, whatever, fill in the blank. The nations hate that. Hate that. That is, it hasn't worked. Let's put it that way. It never worked, and it will never work. It will never work. It's the great statement of real friendship, right? What's real friendship? Real friendship is the ability to say to your friend, that's too much. That's wrong. It's not you. You're doing something that's not good for you. That's real friendship, right? Not the friendship that says, oh yeah, everything you do is fine, you're great, and I love you all the time. No. That's nice a little bit. Sometimes it's good. But if you don't have the place where you say, hey pal, you just went over the line. For you, not because it's for me, not because you hurt me. Because I like you. And I care about you. And it's that. So in that sense, the nations say, you can't do that. You're a Jew. What are you doing? You can't do that. I told you guys this story, right? Rabbi Riskin and the Pita. Rabbi Riskin tells a story of how Rabbi Riskin's the Rav of Efrat. Okay, and he has he's pretty connected to the Arabs around, sort of like more for interfaith dialogue and things like this. And he says at some point in Efrat, he would get a lot of donations, and they wanted to give an ambulance or some kind of medical center for one of the Kfarim next to Efrat, one of the Arab Kfarim, and they didn't accept it. And he was like, what in the world are you talking about? I'm giving you like something. They no, we don't want it. Why not? The guy, the health minister and the PA, he's not allowing us to take it. So Rabbi Riskin, who's the health minister? He says the name. He says, Rabbi Riskin, I know him. We used to be buddies a long time ago. I'll go talk to him. So he goes and he talks to the guy, and he goes in. The guy's very short with him, very very blunt and unpleasant with him. And at one point, Rabbi Riskin says to him, he says, what's going on? Why are you being like this? I'm trying to help you guys. He says, we don't want your help. We don't want that. He says, but why are you being? We used to have. I'll tell you why. He says, X and Y years ago, I was in jail for whatever, in Israeli jail. And at one point, I come over. He said, I was in jail for a while. And at some point, I come over to a guard. And I saw a guard who was eating a pita. And I said to him, you can't eat that now. It's Pesach. This the Arab says to the Arabs talking to Rabbi Riskin said the Arab said this to the guard. He said, you can't eat that, it's Pesach. And the guard said, just be quiet. What do you think? Because it said something in some old book from 3,000 years ago that I follow it? Says this Arab guy. At that moment, I knew we would win. That's what he said. Up until then, I was nice to you guys. I was nice. I was helpful, and we worked together because I thought you guys would win, because I thought you guys were strong. But when I saw that moment, that's the way you relate to your own tradition, I knew we would win. So then Rabbi Riskin goes in and tells him, no, we're going to win. You don't understand how we're going to, whatever. But the story is, it's a powerful story. And it's mamash viewed that way. When he saw us connected to our tradition, yeah, you'll win. I understand there. I understand. But when you lose it, then that's it. We'll think. When the Arabs see us not acting as Am Yisrael, then they say, what are you? We don't need you. We'll beat you. But when we act as Am Yisrael, Vira'u, I'll read the pasuk, Ra'u kol amei haaretz, all the nations of the land will see, Kishem Hashem nikra alecha, the name of God is on you. V'yaru mimeka, they will fear and be in awe of you. That's the way to do it. To believe, that's what it is. And they will be naturally in awe of us, not running away from us, but in awe of us. Wow. Okay.
Maybe it's a little tangent, but the Vilna Gaon brings it down that Pleshet rises with the rise of Am Yisrael, mamash. And their purpose isn't necessarily to destroy Am Yisrael. Their purpose is to show Am Yisrael what they're supposed to be.
Okay. Okay, so this movement, yafeh, dafka, I don't know, flesha, dafka, but yeah, whatever there are, and plishtim in this sense, I hear you saying. Okay, this all the nations in a sense, they want Am Yisrael, they view us very positively, and when we don't do it, it drives them nuts.
I really like the image of Jerusalem extending to Syria,
domestic.
to domestic. And I kind of picture in my head also at the same time, like very soon, B'ezrat Hashem, it's going to be like everybody in the world is going to want to be in Jerusalem because this is the center of the world, right?
So it has to be a little bigger.
It's got to be a little bigger to accommodate everybody. Also,
sure.
What's Williamsburg and Muncie going to look like? There's going to be tumbleweeds going down the street. Right? In my
No more Muncie.
Bro, Muncie's fire.
No, there's going to be nobody living there. It'll be all the world a wasteland and then Jerusalem.
Oh, Crown Heights is still fine though, right?
Crown Heights remains untouched.
Okay, 770 will stay forever. Tov, we're going to stop here. We didn't even finish Rashi here, I met. But I thought this was just a fascinating...